We thank God, the Father Son, for a new cycle that shows us the journey through darkness, the descent to the depths, the encounter with our animal nature that nourishes sweetness. That in this venture we'll be guided by the light through the kingdom of shadows, to emerge from it with the radiance given by the experience of embracing the unknown and the wisdom revealed by the occult within us.
Solstice sunrise. Stepped out 5:14 a.m. An uneasy morning. Rumblings of aggression. The smell of piss. Dried out yellow rose petals rustling in the breeze. And the apple tree. That was so full of hope. The young men went down the far side of the Prinsengracht. I thought, there goes trouble. Then a homeless sort, an old-time junk, bike with bags of bottles hanging off the handlebars. He rode through them. It felt like it could have just as easily gone into murder. The sky had some beauty. The flowers had lots of beauty. The gull that kept circling and the voices of the jays, and there was something else I didn't see, maybe a sparrow. Are there sparrows in Amsterdam? A car plugged into electricity where they'd left a back window down, and I thought, lucky those guys didn't come this way. I heard the punching voices heading down our side of the Prinsengracht, and I ran for the front door. Don't let them get me. Maybe they saw me filming. A flashback. 1983, 5 a.m., New York City, hot, humid, stinky. I was scared. Only other lone women walking up Midtown 6th Avenue at dawn? Hookers. Dressed sexy, secretarial. A gang of teen boys. As I hurried past, one said, "She's scared, man." And they all laughed.
Solstice morning in Port Haven. The sun rose well before I stepped outside to see it. My sister, Elizabeth, found the sun at the official moment of solstice, 9:24 a.m. Then we went to Kilhoman to see where our ancestors were buried. The church was blocked by a high fence. I climbed over the stone wall to explore, while Elizabeth watched and waited for below. An irate neighbor chased us out of the churchyard. We retreated to the nearby distillery for coffee and cake, and I went outside at 12 noon to document the high solstice sun. Then we walked a mile down the road to Mahir Bay. We crossed the dunes and walked on the wide, white sands, and then we followed separate paths, each with our own perspectives and discoveries. I took the high road. Elizabeth kept to the coast. There was synchronicity in what we saw. I reached the Grannies, a rock that resembles an old craggy face, at the same time that Elizabeth found a rock that seemed to be floating in the water. It was a spiritual walk, churches and mountain springs. My trail turned inland to sheep pasture. Elizabeth looked west, out to the ocean. Back on the beach, I found otter prints in the sand. Elizabeth had etched a love letter to her husband Michael. We returned to the church where generations of our ancestors were christened, married, and buried. Then we turned to look out at the Atlantic Ocean, our ancestors' view. We were farther north than we were accustomed to. Light lasts and lasts this first day of summer. The day stretched as vast as the glimmering water.
I walk a circle, a round that is an island edge. One time I walked from sunrise, clockwise. Today I walk to sunset, against the clock, not in time, but in direction. This is an other way on the same island shore. I crest ridges to views bluing into middle distance. I cross watersheds, vague non-marks of waters imagined seep deep through the land. I walk to a chorus of lambs, to peewit cry below skylark song. I walk to a steady quieting, a settling, low lit in evening light. I walk as the sun sinks below western hills. I walk into the solstice twilight.
The thing about the summer solstice in Shetland is that it's never really dark at this time of year.
Yeah, and that's the case for about 3 to 4 weeks at midsummer. What the Shetlanders call simmer dim. Even at night, there's always a rather beautiful milky white light in the sky.
Yeah, so to mark the solstice, we've climbed a hill called the Spinner with a large Bronze Age circular burial cairn on its summit. And while cairns are common enough here, this one's bigger than most, which makes you wonder who was buried in it, one person or many.
Well, I just think we'll probably never know. Maybe that's part of its charm, really. But it feels like a gathering place to me. It's somewhere to look out from. A very logical place from which to track the passage of the sun.
Okay, so I'm trying to imagine standing here amongst the cairn builders, people whose whole lives were governed by the passing of the seasons, by darkness and light. From here there's a 360-degree view of the landscape, so like other cairns it would have been visible for miles around.
Oh yeah, much more so than now probably, because they didn't have all the later human landscape interventions that catch our attention. Buildings and roads and signposts, really just things like this built out of rocks.
Okay, so how would they have read the landscape? Well, actually it's a lot less interfered with than many landscapes in mainland Britain, so maybe it's not that different.
Well, yeah, but without all the peat, so it would have looked more arable, supported small-scale farming. But I can't get my head round. It's the scale of the enterprise, the labour, the many days that must have gone into carrying all these rocks up here. It's hard to empathise now, isn't it? But it surely can't have been a small community.
No. Although we've never been here before, but now we're looking out and trying to spot places and features that we know.
Yeah, well, it's something we've learned to do, I suppose, always orientating ourselves by building a sort of mental map of features we can recognise, which is also what they'd have done, incidentally. Perhaps this is our point of contact with them, really, our mapping of centres and peripheries.
Yeah, there's a lot we'll never know. But I do know that all the time we've been up here, we've heard that lark.
Yeah, you can never go anywhere in Shetland without hearing a lark.
That's true. Would there have been larks in prehistoric times?
Pterodactyls, I should think.
quite what's going on though.
Solstice watering. Walking to river, a little past solstice sunrise, following the black ribbons, the lands fall to her valley, to the tumbling meniscus, beyond to sit, watch for rippled hint of otter, wait for cyan flash, until, sore asked, I rise and set the day's pendulum swinging into afternoon, immersion in clear lake water, reaching, catching, holding water, push back, recovery, elbow high, right arm, left, right, left, sight to the buoy, slowly, slowly, catch her, overtake, complete the 2K swim in fine style. The pendulum swings to solstice eve, post-race lethargy, and too tired for anything but watering the plants. cow parsley, knapweed, nipplewort, hogweed, nipplewort, yellow rattle, Yorkshire fog, plantain, yellow rattle, white clover, lady's bedstraw, white Yorkshire fog, Yorkshire cow parsley, yellow rattle, clover, daisy, reed grass, birdwitch, red clover, lady's bedstraw, ground elder, flower-sense, white clover, bird's foot, Yorkshire fog, white clover, crane's clover, yellow rattle, reed grass, reed grass, hogweed, lady's mantle, lady's bedstraw, flower-sense, white clover, crane's bill, hogweed, crane's white clover, plantain, lady's mantle, reed grass, daisy, buttercup, birdwitch, plantain, nipplewort, lady's bedstraw, crane's bill, plantain, daisy, Yorkshire fog, hogweed, Yorkshire fog, yellow grass, yellow rattle, plantain, buttercup, plantain, Yorkshire fog, daisy, hogweed, knapweed, plantain, crane's yellow rattle, white clover, crane's bill, hogweed, crane's white clover, plantain, lady's mantle, reed grass, daisy, buttercup, birdwitch, white clover, crane's bill, crane's buttercup,